Alright, before anyone dislikes the video, hear me out and why I believe this year Manly will win the 2020 NRL Telstra Premiership. So, the footy season is this weekend, and I'm going to have a whole tips video for the upcoming rounds a bit later, but right now I just want to give you my overall long-term predictions, thoughts and stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to go into every single team and every single detail because I've done my predictions actually, so I'll put them in the top corner. And to be honest, they haven't really changed that much except for a few orders, positionings. So I'll put my top 8 up now. So I've got the Raiders still finishing the minor premiership. My top 4 is the exact same. I still believe the Storm will be up there. The Roosters, even though they're 0-2, they're going to have a strong season because just look at their squad. Manly are going to stick in 4th. I've changed Parramatta 5th because I think the Bunnies are going to struggle a bit this year. I've got the Bunnies in 7th actually because I think they're going to drop off a bit. But I've got the Panthers in 6th. And my 8th position, I was really tempted to go with the Broncos because they've looked really good the opening 2 games. However, I'm going to stick with the Cowboys just because I think they have the better overall squad. And, it's actually, I still have no idea, but I'm going to stick with the Cowboys because they were my preseason pick. And if they were to do well, it would just boost my ego a little bit. So that means I've got people like the Knights, the Tigers, outside the top 8, which may annoy some people. But to be honest, I have changed my mind. I think the Knights are going to be really close. I had them in 12th. I think they're going to come in 9th or something like that. Because Andrew McCulloch, I just got a feeling about him, I think he's going to be really good for them. Jaden Brayley is a decent hooker, but McCulloch's going to bring that big game experience. He's played in the grand finals before. He's played State of Origin like 2 years ago. So I'm pretty sure he's going to help them a lot. It's all going to depend on the form of Mitchell Pearce. I believe the same as last year. If he can get them going, then they should make the 8. But I don't know. I think new coach, new system, it might take them a year. On roster, they should make the top 8, but I'm going to hold off just for now. Now the Tigers, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to make the 8 again. With the Tigers, I feel besides Benji, they rely on a lot of Benji to create their attack. They've got a lot of decent players. They just don't have that superstar player to, like the other top teams have, like Manly, the Roosters, Storm. They don't have those superstar top 10 players. And Luke Brooks, he's still got some work to do, I think. I don't think he's an elite tier halfback. Their forwards, they're going to need some work. I'm interested to see how this, I believe his name's Hugh Grant, this new loanee from Melbourne goes, which will be interesting because he's won, I think, a couple of Queensland Cup Player of the Year awards, waiting for Smith to retire. So I think if he can get going, then Tigers, they could make the 8. No surprise, I've actually got the Warriors coming last. I'm sorry. It's what I had before the season, and to be honest, they haven't given me much hope. It's between the Warriors and Titans, and I just feel Holbrook's going to get something out of them. I think Kearney, to be honest, is kind of on the way out. Now, this was all before obviously what they've done, and I can't thank them enough to get the game back up and going. But I've got a feeling I don't want them to come last because of what they've done, but I believe they will come last. The Bulldogs, sorry guys, I don't think it's going to be here. They have a good couple plays. It's all going to be on Foreign. I think if Foreign can get back and get them firing, they could make the 8. The thing about the Bulldogs is they found out how to win. It's just, they got to defend. They got to be dogs, really. They just got to grind it out. And when they had Foreign, they could get those tries and get enough points to win those games. But, yeah, I don't know if they will be able to. The Dragons, I think it's just going to be the same type of year for them as last year. I think the 2015 Grand Final really has hindered Ben Hunt's career because he was going to be the Queensland halfback. He was an absolute freak. It's just a shame, really. The Broncos, I didn't have them in the 8 last year, even though I didn't do like a big thing on YouTube or anything. But I don't know. It's between them or Cowboys for me. I know the Broncos have looked obviously the better out of the two. They've actually looked really good, but everyone's getting on these Broncos hype train. I just feel that, look, Fafita and Haas are going to win them some games just by themselves, but I don't know about Croft and Milford. Honestly, I have no idea where that 8 spot's going to go. I think it'll go Broncos or Cowboys, really. Or Knights, they could probably pinch it. No, I don't have the Sharks in the top 8. Just based off last year, really no Gallen. They've started 0-2, and I know I just said that the first 2 games didn't mean much. And to be fair, the Sharks have played 2 quality teams. I don't know what it is. I think Graham will have a good year. I think Sherry's a bit overrated. That's just my thing. You know, everyone's put him as a top 5 centre. I don't really think he's done much. He's a great player. I think this year could be the breakout year where we see him get up there. Same Stags. I think those two are gonna be vying for centre of the year. Even though I do have Croker, I still think he'll be there. But those two are gonna be really good. Alright, so that kind of narrows at the bottom 8. We're going to the top 8 now. In 8th place, I have the Cowboys. I just think that Val Holmes, once he gets going, he's just going to relive the form of the past couple of years. You know, he's been playing NFL, so he's been keeping fit. He's not like Kane, who had like a long time off playing Fijian rugby or something. He will find his form. He's going to play Queensland State of Origin at the end of the year, I think. The Panthers are going to rely a lot on Nathan Cleary. I just think Api Coruscant is going to be so good for them. They've got a good enough forward pack with Kikau Tamo. They're going to get on the front foot of a lot of these teams with Api coming out dummy half. And let's not forget, Cleary is an Origin winning halfback. The Bunnies, look, a bit low for them. Look, Shaw needs time. I hope he has a blinder season, especially after all the shit he's been copped by the media. I don't know what it is. It's probably because he's like just such a big name. The media just love giving him shit. I hope he goes well. I have him at fullback. I know a lot of people want him back at centre, but you got Roberts, Goodwin even, and Gagai. Plus you got Campbell Graham in there. I think Latrell is definitely worthy of sticking up fullback. Just give him time. You know, he hasn't played there professionally for years. Parramatta, 5th. A lot of people are going to hate me. A lot of people have Parramatta win the comp in the top 4. I just think people are forgetting the fact that, yes, they had a good stretch at the end of last year, but let's not forget, they lost by a big margin to the Melbourne, the game they got eliminated. I think it was like 30-something nil. It was the same position as when the Eagles beat the Broncos. If Storm had kicked all their goals, it was going to look really bad for the Eagles. Plus, they were inconsistent all year. That Bulldogs game really worried me for them. I know they won, but the fact that only try all game after they attacked came off a deflection for Reid Marnie. And then the Titans were able to hold them out. Let's not forget, for about 20 minutes to start the second half on their own try line, which I guess could be good for the Titans, the fact they did it for that long. But before that last 20 minutes, the Eagles, they looked a bit struggling in their attack. So it's going to depend on Moses, how well he can create opportunities for their team. I think Dylan Brown's going to have a good year. Gutho, I'm not sure about Gutho. Gutho seems like he's just going to be a decent fullback. He might crack Origin this year if Eagles can get in there and make the top 4. It won't surprise me if they make the top 4. I think after all the spotlight on Sevo, that Ferguson might, you know, come out of his shadow a bit, even though that's weird to say. Blake Ferguson. I have him as like the best right winger in the comp, really. I think he's going to pick up winger of the year. He's up there with the Fox. 4th, I'll get into these guys a bit later because that's what the title of the video is, but we'll skip the 3rd. The Roosters. Look, it's theirs to lose it, isn't it? I mean, they've got such a good team. I think Cronk was just so good for them. Cooper Cronk is an absolute champion. No one wins 3 comps 3 years in a row. It's going to be a lot of Kiri. I've got Tupou top try scorer. I think they're going to get that left side a lot. You know, the Roosters, they started off well both games, but yeah, they just couldn't hold Manly or the Panthers. It's going to be interesting to see how they go against the Bunnies this weekend. I do have them winning, spoiler, I've got for that tipping video coming out tomorrow. Yeah, I think that Roosters will make the grand final again. With Tedesco, Keary, Jared Weir-Hargraves, they got Jack Friend back, Boyd Corner. You got like, 4 players in the top 5 positions are there in the whole comp. So it'd be pretty embarrassing if they weren't to miss the 4th. Plus, they back Robinson as a coach. I believe he's going to do enough to get them there. Slow starts, who cares? Second, Melbourne. Was tempted to put them as minor premiers. I just think they're not going to slow down until Smith retires, or even then. They got Brandon Smith and that Hugh Grant guy. Melbourne. We're just going to... I think they're declining, but it's very, very slow decline. It wouldn't surprise me if they won the minor premiership. It wouldn't even surprise me if they won the comp. I think they've got the second behind Manly to win the comp, just because of the players they have, the system they have. I'll get into it tomorrow in the tipping video with the referee situation. A lot of people are saying that's not going to help Melbourne because of the wrestle. I think with Cameron Smith at a dummy half, at least attacking wise, they're going to be just fine. So I think Melbourne, I'll keep him second because of what I'm about to say about the Raiders, but would not surprise me if they got the minor premiership. So, the Raiders, minor premiers, I think they're going to come out for a flying start. I think they're going to challenge. I've got them making preliminary finals overall. Look, the Raiders haven't made back-to-back finals in like a decade. And remember 2016, they nearly made it. I just think George Williams, he was alright in the first 2 games. I think he's going to be good. I think the reason people are panicking is because they got 2 running halves. But Josh Hodgson sort of plays a Cameron Smith role where basically he's the main playmaker for that team. And, Jack White and George Williams, they both can kick the ball, so it doesn't matter. The Raiders have a really good forward pack. Papali's probably the best front row in the comp at the end of last year. Like I said, Josh Hodgson's probably the second best hooker besides Smith. Soliola coming off the bench, if he's doing that. Corey Horsburgh, he interests me. He seems good. He might be on off the Queensland jersey. Their backline, Chance. Chance, I reckon he could really crack into that elite fullback. We're talking about the big 4 and fullback with Ponga, Tom, RTS, Tedesco. I think we're going to have 5 in a couple of weeks. I think Chance is going to be that good. Wingers, Rapana, got Rapana back. Krochik, I can't say it. Nicky C, we'll call him. Probably hates that name, but who cares? I reckon Haig would be an iron off an Origin jersey, especially if Brad Fittler holds up his bargain at when Josh Adokar and Latrell both broke isolation or whatever it's called. But they got a good backline. I think Croker, as I said, will be centre of the year. I think he's going to get a lot of points. I picked the Shells' top point scorer. I forgot about Adam Reynolds kicking, so I think Croker will be the top point scorer. I think Wine could get the 6. I think Keary's going to get the 6 and 7. I think Keary's going to be a lock for Origin. It's just who partners him, really. I think, listen, if my predictions go according to, I think Cleary's, because of the fact he's been making trouble, will get them there. Curtis Scott, if he can not punch people, then, I think they'll be alright. I think the Raiders will be up there. Now, you clicked on the video, you disliked it, but give me a minute. Why I believe the Manly Waringah Sea Eagles will win the 2020 NRL Premiership. I've got 3 names for you. Jake Trbojevic, Tom Trbojevic, and Daly Cherry Evans. That's a genuine big 3. That's 3 of the top 10 players in the comp. Alright? Plus, let's not forget last year, everyone was injured. And they would have made the preliminary finals. They may have even beaten the Raiders because they beat the Raiders without Tom and Cherry Evans earlier in the season. They only lost because of a questionable call that got Jake Trbojevic Simeon, which I think has made people realise how important Jake Trbojevic is to this team. Because Cherry Evans can control it. He's the best halfback in the comp, I'll say it right now. There's no doubt in my mind how good Cherry Evans is. Tom Trbojevic, I got him as Dally M. I think if he can play at least 20 games at plus finals, Manly I don't know why I've got them in 4th. I think they're going to finish higher than 4th, but I reckon there's no doubt in my mind that when the comp, Marty Tapau and Fanua Blake, 2 of probably the best front rowers in the comp. Danny Levi, he was alright. That's the position I'm kind of concerned about because a lot of Manly's tries last year were coming out of dummy half and just playing up the middle with Tom and Cherry. But Danny Levi has been good so far defensively. A lot of people complain about Manly's depth. I think Manly's depth could be one of the best in the comp. They got a lot that could be tested though, because a lot of players are going to the Warriors. But you got Paseka, Waddell, Jaseski. They've all proven they can do it. I just think they're going to have a lot of good depth, especially in the halves. You know, Cast. You got Croker who's playing the role at the moment. Let's not forget, if Tom does go down, Brendan Elliott did a great job for us last year. Did a great job for Manly. That back line, you know, Tom. Garrick, I think Garrick could be eyeing off an Origin jersey this year. He could be top try scorer again. The liability for me is Tafua. Remember, they only lost the Storm game because they chipped it over top and Vudval was able to outrun and outjump Tafua. I know a lot of people love Tafua, I do, but I believe he's the liability. I think that's why Parker's next to him, because Parker's probably one of the best centres in the comp, at least defensively. Sully does concern me. I think, look, he's playing for a contract this year. I think it will probably be his best year. So, yeah, I just think Walker at 5'8", you know, I think Walker could have a really good year. He's had a whole off-season of 5'8". People don't realise he's probably been training at centre all pre-season the last couple of years. If Walker can go in at 5'8" and really make a difference, take some pressure off Cherry Evans. If Walker just runs, Walker just needs to run. He's such a good runner of the football. He was the best centre in the comp in 2017. He was good last year. I know there's a lot of controversy around him, but I think Gilmore could be in for a big year. Like I said, I think it's going to be down to that big three. That's a genuine big three. I reckon Tom's going to be out there with Teddy. I think those two, we've already seen it when Tom destroyed Teddy in round 2. People are starting to realise that Tom could be the best fullback in the comp. Jake is probably the second best lock besides Tom Malalo. He's definitely top 5 middle forwards in the competition. You know, that's 3 future NRL superstars. I think Manly, it's going to really shock me if Manly don't win the comp. When I did the predictions video, I genuinely thought hard to see who would win the comp, and every time I just came back to Manly. Every single time. I don't see a weak link with that team. I see the Roosters, I think that right-hand side, depending on whether they play the Morris brothers and Manu, are going to struggle because of Flanagan. I just think without Cronk. I don't know about the Raiders. The Raiders, look, they seem to come out every couple of years and dominate, and then they do nothing. But I think the Raiders will be there this year. Melbourne are the ones who concern me the most. I can't really see a weakness with them, besides maybe Jerome Hughes, but look, after I said that, he's basically won the game for Melbourne with those kicks over the top. Yeah, so I think the Eels have a shot. I just think the Eels may be too inconsistent, same as last year. It's going to depend on how Moses goes, how Gutho goes, how that spine goes. I think Reid Marnie's going to have a breakout year. Got a lot of players having a breakout year. But back on to Manly. Yeah, I just think Manly. My gut says Manly. My head says Manly. If Manly don't win the comp, I'll do a forfeit. How about that? I already put the money on them. I think Manly. I've just got a gut feeling. I don't think anyone else is going to come close, really. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it. Quick video for you. Hopefully you agree with my points. Bit wishy-washy, but I think you get the gist of it. Anyways, tipping video out tomorrow, but the season comes out Thursday, which is tomorrow, the next day after I'm recording this, because this video is coming out tomorrow. There we go. Alright, guys, stay subscribed, like, share. Gotta get that 250 subs as soon as possible so we can get to that 1,000. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.